We've got 56 viewers rating. I always love it. I don't know if it's always like this, but it always says 56 for some reason. It's nice.
56,
yeah, Gomu number. I like the Gomu. Okay,
yeah,
we're live.
lucky number.
Okay. Hello, my nakamatachi. This is Joy Girl, and we have another very special stream because we have LaffiTraffi with us. So everyone say hello and welcome to LaffiTraffi. Welcome her to the Joy Fleet.
Hello, yes, thank you so much for having me. This is exciting. I'm nervous, but I think it'll be fun.
Yeah, no, there's no need to be nervous. Let me just make sure that we're live properly. Are we here? Okay, awesome. All right, we're here. Okay. Yeah, so how are you going today, Laffy?
Yeah, I'm good. I'm good. It's 8 at night, so I've had a long day preparing for this, but you know, I think it'll be fun.
Oh, okay.
Long, you know.
Yeah, fair enough. Like I said, it's not, nothing to be nervous about. We're just having a chat with fellow One Piece fans. So how's our chat going today? How are you all going? Hey, we've got some Savage Pirates here as well. We've got the Savage Gang. So you you joined in the chat last time as well. I saw you in the chat when we went live with Randy, and so we've got the Savage Gang in here. So hey guys, how are y'all doing? And for everyone, I just wanted to make sure that you guys all know that we recently came out with a Discord server. So the Joy Fleet has a Discord server. So Laffy's in there, so make sure you get in there as well. I don't know if I've linked it. I'll make sure to put the link in the description box. But let me yeah. So first of all, let's just start off with did you want to tell us a little bit about yourself, Laffy, and just introduce yourself to the Joy Fleet?
Yeah, so I have a YouTube channel that I started this year. It's been maybe 6 months. I don't know exactly when I started it, but I had the main idea to do a manga versus anime series to go episode by episode and to look at all the little details between the manga and the anime, because I had first watched the anime up until about Whole Cake Island, and then I got caught up, and then I caught up to the manga. So I started reading the manga, and I had gotten the first few box sets, and I was just noticing that the very first part with Kobe and Alvida, that was a totally different scene in the manga, and I honestly liked Kobe a lot more in the manga than in the anime. He was portrayed very differently, so I had that idea that, you know, people had done like general differences between manga and anime, like the big differences, and I had known about them. But I just thought it would be cool to like go episode by episode and really like pick apart the different mediums. And I know that's a huge project, so I don't know about I don't know, but there's a lot of episodes. For one. So
I think I saw that, but I think I didn't realize you were doing it episode by episode. I realized that you were doing it arc by arc. How far have you gone in? Which arc are you on now?
I am on Arlong Park now, and I had just finished like the script for it a few days ago, and so I'm editing that right now, and I'm going on vacation next week, so hopefully I will have that video out sometime next week.
Okay,
but it takes a long time. It takes like over a month to go, because I have to watch it as I read through the book. Yeah. So it takes a long time.
I can imagine.
It's fun. I think it's fun.
Yeah, I like that. It's a very unique way you're doing that, so I like that a lot.
Because it's very specific stuff, but I've been trying to not look at every single detail like I was at first, because that was a little much, so I'm trying to focus on more stuff that actually changes your experience between the manga and the anime. So but yeah, I also do like regular reviews and reactions. I stream reactions on Twitch and do stuff over there, but then I do just random YouTube videos, mostly for One Piece. I'm also watching Attack on Titan, but that's kind of getting dragged behind too, because there's so many episodes for that. But
are you catching up on Attack on Titan?
What was that?
Were you just catching up on Attack on Titan, or it's something that you've watched before as well?
I had not watched it.
Oh, you haven't watched it?
I was against it for a long time because I thought that the idea behind it was silly, but my friend Dusty was super obsessed with it, and he convinced me and my boyfriend to watch it. So the three of us are watching it from the start, where me and my boyfriend don't know anything about the series. We're on like the end of season 2 though, so we haven't gotten too far yet. But there's only a few times that all three of us can watch it together.
I would say Attack on Titan is amazing. It's really shot up in terms of like one of my favorite series. I only started watching this year as well. I've only caught up to where the anime has finished. I don't read the manga, but I'm really excited. I'm glad that I caught up before they come out with the part 2 of the final season. So very excited for that, and maybe you'll be able to catch up before then as well.
Yeah, someday. And I heard the the endings. I don't know what the ending is. I luckily wasn't spoiled on anything like that, but I heard it wasn't that great, so I'm interested to see what it is.
Oh really? I hadn't heard about the ending. I don't know anything about the ending either, so please no one spoil it for us in the chat. We're usually pretty good with spoilers, but yeah. So what you were saying before about how you're looking at the differences between the anime and the manga, is that what got you to start like, you know, making One Piece YouTube videos? What got you to start actually, you know, to start your channel?
Yeah, that was my first video, was Romance Dawn manga versus anime, and I had redone that video probably like 4 times, like re-recording it, and I was just nitpicking it so much that I was nervous to post it. And but once I finally did, then I was like, well, you know, I really like YouTubers who do chapter reviews and stuff like that, and of course I'm reading it too, so maybe I can throw that in too. And so then that turned into, I also want to do reactions to it too, because that's super fun, and I like watching other people's reactions to the chapters, especially when crazy stuff happens. So it just kind of morphed from there, and now I'm trying to get more into just videos about different topics in One Piece, like not theory too much, but just thoughts about different characters or stuff. Things like that.
Yeah, okay, awesome. So you're not very deep into the theory world, the theory universe of One Piece?
Yeah, I mean, I know a lot of them. I just don't really come up with them myself. I more like hear other people's, and I'm like, oh yeah, that really makes sense because of this and this, and you know, I have my own theories and agendas, but you know, I like
always
hearing everyone's thoughts about it.
It's always fun to hear someone's theory or agenda. Is there any theory, or is there an agenda that you want to push today?
Well, since the topic is I guess the main one would be that hopefully he's not going to die in Wano, which I think at this point a lot of people think. But with his whole future, there's a lot that he can still contribute. Like, I hope that he doesn't go off and separate from the Straw Hats. I think that him and especially Robin could do a lot with finding out the history of the world and stuff like that. So that's mainly what I focus on. But yeah, there's a lot.
Yeah, fair enough. The lore agenda. So we just gotta say hi to thanks Levi, thanks for the super chat. That's what the ding 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 was. I don't know if you're watching this on your stream, but thanks Levi, and hi to you too. Hope you're having a great day or a great evening where you are, probably. Not many of us in daytime at the moment, but anyways. That's actually interesting that you say that about lore and, you know, about the theory that he's gonna die at Wano. So you don't think he's going to die at Wano? Is that more like a personal preference because obviously Law is your favorite character, or is it just actually like you think that you know, the theory just doesn't hold up?
Before we got to Wano, I was convinced that he was going to die in Wano, and I was very upset about it, but I thought that it could be done well because there was this theory, and you know, I'm really bad with history and recounting the theories, but it was about his name and Napoleon and Spain with the Battle of Waterloo, Waterloo, and that was where Napoleon made his, you know, stuff. I don't know, but so there was a lot of reason to believe that Wano might be Law's final, you know, contribution to the series, and especially with Eternal Surgery. Yeah, that brought up a lot of things of like, well, he gave it to Luffy, but Luffy doesn't really seem that kind of person. But we also don't know what the Eternal Youth does. Does that just, you know, give lifespan of the user, which is kind of my theory at the moment, that just whatever Law's remaining lifespan is would be given to whoever he performs it on, rather than like an immortal surgery. But now that we're in Wano, I think specifically the panel where he was down in the basement looking at the poneglyphs, and he had that flashback to talking with Robin, and then he thinks about Corazon.
Yeah, exactly.
And how Corazon wanted to find out, and he was very interested in the Will of Deed. I think that solidified that he won't die.
Yeah.
That's what I'm hoping at least.
I agree with you largely on that. I think up until that point, even earlier in the Wano arc, especially before the raid started, I was thinking there is some merit to the possibility of Law dying, but that idea about the checkered fate. You know, that panel that you mentioned in the recent chapter, seems like Oda's, you know, seeding in like a possible character development or a character, I guess, some sort of story arc for Law, which is great. You know, so it means that he doesn't have to die. But obviously, like you say as well, the immortality surgery, that's a big Chekhov's gun that's gonna have to be revealed, or we're gonna have to see it at some point throughout the story. So I think it is gonna be used. I don't know whether that means that he's gonna die necessarily, but I do think that is something that we are gonna have to see at some point, in some way as well. But so actually, I wanted to ask you what. Yeah, sorry, go ahead.
I was gonna say that might be my theory. Maybe if he doesn't use it and if he doesn't die in that way, that maybe that's just setting up the idea that another character had the Eternal Youth already performed on them, like Eam. So maybe it's not setting up that Law will use it. It's just setting up that if it is like an immortal surgery, then another character will come in.
And it exists.
Yeah, he's the best contender, like Vegapunk or something. That maybe that's more what the purpose was, and not necessarily that he'll die. Yeah. But again, that's my agenda. That he won't die.
Actually, what makes Law your favorite character?
That's a good question. I'm so far in deep now, like I forgot where
where it started. Where did the love start?
Yeah. Yeah, I think it was definitely in Dressrosa, because with Grand Line Review's video about it, I had made like my own opinion kind of defending Dressrosa, because, you know, there's so much hate on it and I love Dressrosa. And at the beginning of Dressrosa, I remember liking Law, you know, like back in Saba Odi, I really liked him, that he had saved Luffy at Marineford, and then we had seen him on Punk Hazard. I was like, oh, so this cool guy who showed up earlier still is really cool, because now he's being reintroduced again so soon, as opposed to the rest of the Supernovas. But I think it was somewhere around like his backstory that really solidified. Yeah. That really got it. Like, yeah, that's where it changed, I think.
Yeah, he does have one of the best, like, you know, backstories, especially outside of the Straw Hats. I find it too hard to talk, you know, to try rank like backstories. Same way I find it really hard to just rank my favorite characters. But definitely his, you know, backstory is one of the best out there. And I think, because I really like Law as a character as well, and I'm loving, I think the aspect of Law that I really like the most is how Oda uses him for like comedic purposes. Because personally, for me, I've gotten away with this so far. I don't know whether you'll let me get away with it. But when someone asks me about my favorite character within One Piece, I always just say the Straw Hats, because I can't choose. And so if the Straw Hats, and the Straw Hats really are like my favorite element within One Piece. So I really like how Law just fits into the dynamic. You know that scene in Punk Hazard where they're creating the chopper hat and putting Chopper on top of Law. Every time I just think of that, it just makes me so laugh, like just so funny. Just everything about that panel is just so incredibly funny, with like, you can see like Usopp and Chopper so completely serious in the way that they're, you know, making sure to like keep in sync. Yeah, exactly. And then Luffy's just cracking up in the background, and like Law, like he's got that dark paneling, and he's like, what on earth is going on? Like,
that face represents his entire experience.
Yeah, exactly. That just,
it only gets worse.
Yeah, that one panel, just in that panel, it just showcases his entire future with the Straw Hats. So,
pretty much, yep.
If in that case, so if we say that Law's not going to die, what do you think? So we've talked about how you think that, you know, in terms of his future, it's obviously going to be linked to him, you know, unearthing sort of the secrets at in the world. What do you think? Do you think I don't know if you would have heard about these, you know, I guess these like theories or these headcanons that he's, you know, an honorary Straw Hat member, and that he might join the Straw Hats, or he'll join the Straw Hat Grand Fleet. What do you think?
Yeah, I definitely think that the Grand Fleet would be the best option, because I don't see him joining. I mean, even in this recent episode, he was still like, Luffy's not my friend, okay? Let's get that clear. And we're all like, yeah, we know law, okay. But I think he wouldn't ever join the Straw Hats for sure, but I definitely think that, I don't know, I almost see him above the Grand Fleet because he's been so integral to everything side by side with Luffy that he might have his own thing where he's just like always the Alliance character, whereas the Grand Fleet works under Luffy. I don't see him ever working under Luffy. So I really just see them side by side in a weird way, that they never join crews, but they just, I don't know, a weird mixture. Because I definitely think, like I said earlier, that him and Robin need to find out the histories, and that since we don't have Luffy interested in the Will of D as the character with the D, I think Law would fill in that role of being a character with the D who is actually very interested in what it means. So I think that could be a good role for him to fill. If that is on LafTail, I don't know if Law's going to be on LafTail with them. I'd like that, but I don't know if that's realistic. I hope so.
Yeah, that would be cool. I mean, I've always had, I guess, different ideas about what's going to happen at LafTail. It's a bit, you know, it's too, it's very big to think about, but I've always also liked the idea of like maybe if the final war is like at LafTail, so we have everyone there just before they find the One Piece. But like I said, I don't know if I don't like, it's just a fun idea. I'm not too sure if I believe in it all that seriously. But we've got some super chats, so we'll answer some of these questions. We've got Fidelio. Thanks for the super chat, Fidelio. Hello, you think Nika was the original owner of the Gomu Gomu fruit a long time ago? Well, I think the Nika storyline is just so full of like different questions, and then so there is a huge possibility that, you know, Nika was the owner, and then maybe he actually even used the Gomu Gomu no Mi to, you know, liberate the slaves, and maybe that's how, you know, he came to be the legend and the deity figure that he is. And I guess, you know, Luffy's kind of doing that, you know, throughout the series. We're seeing him always standing up for the oppressed. But what do you think, Laffy?
Yeah, I definitely heard that a lot, especially with the silhouette, like how he kind of had like rubbery limbs, maybe.
Yeah.
I don't know. I mean, especially with the significance that we've learned, whatever that significance is for the Gum Gum fruit itself, and that we learned about them in almost like back-to-back chapters, there might be something there. I don't know how I feel about that, because I'm one of the people who are kind of more reserved about Luffy being the super special one, and I know that doesn't really make sense with what we've seen so far. Like, there's been a lot of reasons that Luffy is special. I just hope that there's not predestination for him, because then that takes away from his character. I hope that there's a prophecy, like with Joy Boy. It's not a person who's born into the role, it's more of just, there's the title of Joy Boy who will be given to the person who saves the world. Yeah. And then Luffy will just get the title, but he wasn't like born to get the title necessarily. I don't know. Yeah,
definitely. I mean, yeah, 100%. I don't really like the idea of like, you know, predestined will either. I think we discussed this at the Revelry as well, but I think that's why, you know, there is obviously like that interplay between free will and then fate as well, that you can it's not necessarily that something is your fate and it's been written out for you, but I guess it becomes your fate as you make the decisions that you do. That's how I sort of, I guess, play around with it. But it's very philosophical and very big brain to try to try to wrap your head around. But as long as I think as long as it doesn't go through the like Naruto is like the big example that I think people come across when we start thinking about like the predestined, you know, born, like the repeated timelines and things like that. Did you watch Naruto? Actually, what's your gateway anime? Actually, what's your gateway series? How did you get into One Piece? Before One Piece, or was One Piece your first?
Yeah, I started watching Naruto, but I didn't make it past the tuning exams for no particular reason. I don't know, just kind of fell off. But a lot of people have watched it, and they've told me the gist of it, and it's not a bad series. Like, I definitely like the idea of Naruto. I just don't think maybe later, maybe sometime I'll watch it. But my gateway was, I can't remember. I'm pretty sure it was Avatar.
Okay. Yeah.
So that was super good, and then Full Metal Alchemist was right behind that.
Full Metal Alchemist is great as well.
The best ones.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then Hunter x Hunter, and then then I watched a few others, but then eventually my boyfriend was like, "Hey, there's this really long anime because we like watching long anime, so that totally wasn't a turn off." He's like, "Yeah, it's about this kid who is rubber and they eat devil fruits and they're pirates." I was like, "That sounds really stupid," but sure.
Yeah.
And, you know, within the first episode, I was in love with it, so we binged it together for a very long time.
That's amazing. That's great, though. I love that. Yeah, I'm glad.
That's the first manga I ever read.
Yeah, right. So actually, One Piece is the first manga that I read too. So I'm right there with you as well. It's really the only manga that I'm still reading, that I read consistently, and that I actually follow week by week. Everything else I just prefer to watch through the anime, but One Piece is the one that I'm sort of religiously waiting for, you know, for a new chapter to come out week by week. I'm surprised that you say that you know you weren't scared off, you weren't turned off by the length of One Piece, because you said you started watching when it was already at Whole Cake Island. Is that right?
Yeah, because it had taken us a few months to catch up, so they might have not been at Whole Cake Island, but very close to it, because I kind of almost remember, like, the episode that I had caught up to it, and it was where Sanji was giving his reasons why he can't go back to the crew. So it was right at a very emotional moment, so I was like, oh my god, I have to know what happens. And so I read all the manga in, like, a week, and then I caught up to wherever it was at that point. But what was your gateway anime?
It wasn't, I would say Naruto was my gateway. It wasn't the first series that I watched, but it was definitely my gateway that got me really into anime and manga. Obviously, I watched like bits and pieces of like Pokemon and stuff when I was young, like when it was on, but I never really followed anything seriously. The first series that I think I completed was, I think, Death Note, just because it's obviously so short and compact. So I was watching that whilst also watching Naruto, and obviously I just finished Death Note a lot quicker. And Death Note's also an awesome series. You've watched Death Note?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, I have. You know, the second half is, but the first half is amazing.
I think a lot of people would agree with you.
So good.
Yeah.
Yeah. Once a certain character doesn't show up anymore,
yeah, definitely.
After the first part, which was good.
Also, I saw this in the chat earlier, so I thought I should ask you, because it goes back to lore as well, and I guess lore's future. So this isn't one of my theories, but so we've got people from the Savage Gang reminding us. Have you watched or heard of Randy's theory about lore being a member of Sword at all?
Yes, I might have watched it when it first came out, but I had forgotten about it until I had watched The Reverie, this recent one, and they were mentioning it again, and then I think I had watched it like 2 weeks ago, so pretty recently, and I was like, yes, everything, yes.
Okay,
perfect.
So you're so
fully the video blew up.
Nice. Okay, so you're fully on board.
Yes.
We should have.
Sure.
You should have jumped in last week when we had Randy on, or I should ask Randy. Because he was on last week. I don't think I actually discussed his sword theory all that much when we were speaking last week, actually. But yeah, okay. So you're fully on board. That's great. We've got a lot of members of the Savage Gang here, so I'm sure they'll be happy to see that. And I like that, you know, obviously that gives Laura, you know, avenues after Wano where he will go, you know, and that will still take Law's journey further, especially just because of it. Apart from that, and especially, you know, if we didn't have the checkered fate, now because of that idea of Law, you know, really wondering about the mysteries of the world himself and wanting to find out about the will of D and stuff, I think that also is enough to, you know, provide him with more, with an arc and with more, you know, development and story going forward. But before that, it just seemed like, you know, there really wasn't much for him after Wano. You know, if Kaido's defeated, it seemed just like his story just comes to a stop, which I think is why a lot of people came up with that idea that he might be dying at Wano. And like you say, because I've read up on the Battle of Waterloo and the Napoleon, and you know, linking Big Mom and Kaido to Spain and France and things like that. I was actually going to make a video on it early on when I first started making videos, but I don't think I ever ended up making that video actually.
Yeah. It convinced me. I was like, oh no, there's no way he doesn't die.
Yeah.
But hopefully he sticks around.
Yeah. We've got a few people discussing Naruto. I won't go into Naruto because it might be a bit of a spoiler for you. I don't know if you plan on watching it, but I don't want to spoil anything for you in case. But what about Hunter x Hunter? You watch Hunter x Hunter?
Yes. Oh, that was one of them too. That was one of the ones I watched before One Piece.
Okay.
I really like that. Yeah. That was a really good series. I loved Killua so much.
Oh,
Great
yes.
character.
Yeah.
And I had actually started reading the manga for that. It was kind of like while I was watching One Piece, and I was like, oh, this series is actually still going on.
Yeah.
And but I kind of fell off of that. I don't want to spoil anything, but the direction that the anime or the series was taking didn't interest me at all, and I thought it was really weird. And
you mean the way that the anime was taking, or you mean where the manga, where the actual mangaka was? Oh, okay, right, yep. I only watched up until the anime stopped, and so I know what's happening in the manga, but I don't really follow it myself. So I
just watched read maybe 10 chapters after the anime ended. Yeah, maybe more than that, but there was a lot. It turned very political, and I wasn't interested. It didn't have the same vibe as
the earlier
anime did, so I kind of fell off of it. I'm sure it's still good, and I might read it someday, but not recently.
Hey, Randy's in the chat as well, so I don't know if he heard what you said, but hi Randy. Hey, thanks for coming in. Yeah, we said someone must have told him that that we're discussing Law and Sword. So Randy, Laffy is completely on board with your theory that Law could be a part of Sword.
For sure.
Yeah, 100% on board. So Law's Laffy's favorite character. And she very much likes the idea of him being in Sword. And so I'll just catch up on the super chats now as well. We had one from Anime Nakama, no question, but thanks for the super chat. It was, hi Joy Girl and Laffy, this is refreshing content. Thanks so much, Anime Nakama. And we've got DJ Red Comet, super chat, thanks for your question. What are both of your thoughts on the connection between Law and Drake, which parallel to Kobe and Helmeppo? So I'll let you take this one first this time. Is there, I guess this goes back to the video that we were discussing earlier as well.
Yeah, I didn't think, I don't know. Yeah, it's interesting. I really do like the Law and Drake dynamic, and I definitely want to know if there were, because it's kind of fuzzy for me of exactly when Law entered Sword, and if he did act like him and Drake, do they have a history together? Because they never actually met in his backstory, of course. Drake ran off and he got away from Doflamingo while Law had to stay behind, so they never actually ever met, then at least. So I'm curious if now that clearly Drake is in Sword with Kobe, maybe there will be, because he also saved Law from the prison, so I think there's definitely a connection there. I'm just more interested in just seeing what that is and seeing if they did in some way maybe not grow up together, because we know, well, I think Randy mentioned this in his video about how we got that novel of Law, but it's possibly not canon about his adventures meeting Beppo and Sachi and Penguin and joining and making the crew. So we do know that he became a pirate pretty quickly, but maybe at some point he found out about the Will of D more as he was journeying as a pirate, and then maybe he went back to Sengoku. Maybe, I don't know. It'd be interesting to say where Law joined specifically, or maybe he still isn't, and maybe he will join.
Okay,
that's also one of my options.
So that he's not actually there yet. Yeah, I like that. Yeah, I think if this is going back to Randy's video, because I think Randy said that it's possible that maybe both Law and Drake sort of were, I guess, they grew up under Suru, and Suru took them in, similar to how I think Garp took Kobe and Helmeppo in. In terms of parallels to Kobe and Helmeppo, are we saying that because I guess Kobe and Drake are obviously both Marines, confirmed Marines, Helmeppo too, but with Law's status sort of in question, what's the parallel between Law and Helmeppo? Is it the fact that they both use like bladed weapons? I don't know. I don't know about the parallel between Law and Helmeppo, but I can definitely see the connections. And you know, the ones that, you know, Randy talked about as well, which is interesting because I actually didn't watch Randy's video until more recently. But when I first, before he went into it, my first like thought when I heard about the theory about Law being in Sword was, you know, that panel where Law obviously gets freed from whilst Hawkins, when Drake saves him, you know, from the prison, and he's, you know, he gets freed from Hawkins. And I thought that the dialogue there, when, you know, when Law says something like, you know, if this is part of your grand plan, then I'll go along with it. I thought that could be, you know, throw sort of like a you know, a spanner in the works and just sort of, you know, wreck that. But then I like the way that Randy explained it as well, that maybe Law's actually just saying like, you know, why did you do that? That could get us both into, you know, both into trouble. So that's a nice explanation for it too. So yeah, and
maybe you think that like if you think maybe Law and Drake grew up together and were trained in that way, maybe that's like the comparison between Kobe and Helmeppo.
Yeah.
I don't know if I necessarily think that. I think his connection to Sword is for sure a thing with Corazon and Sengoku. I just don't know if he's already a member. You know, I think that maybe Drake and Sengoku have a plan to recruit him, but he hasn't been outright stated to be one or asked yet. I don't know. But I definitely think there's a big connection there with Corazon.
Yeah, 100%. I see what you mean. And just to sort of, I guess, answer your question about when Law could have joined, Randy says, well, you know, Law's obviously only 24, and we only know him up to, you know, being 16 or 17, around that age. So there's a bit of a time gap between when we saw him. And we got Screen Beat just subscribed. Thanks, guys. To everyone who hasn't subscribed yet, please do subscribe to this channel, and also go to LaffiTraffi's channel and you know, subscribe there too. For more One Piece content, because, you know, who has enough One Piece content? Yeah. So the thing about, I mean, obviously it doesn't work anymore because it was confirmed that it was actually Drake. But when I first saw that shadowy figure, I was very convinced that that was Toki. And I am hard on the agenda that Toki is alive. So that was one of my one of my thoughts that supports Toki being alive, and it was actually Toki that freed Law. But what do you do you have any thoughts about Toki being alive, or not really?
Yeah, I think I'm not sure, because we still have the silhouette that is either for sure Hiyori or Toki. So we haven't been confirmed on who that is. And while it would make sense that Hiyori was the one who followed the battle to Onigashima, I'm not opposed to Toki being alive, because that would, I think, unlike Odin, I hope, you know, I love his character, but I hope Odin stays dead, because that would make his character a lot better. But Toki, I feel like she could add something still, especially with Momo, like raised into a shogun, and there's a lot of place for her. So I would be very happy if she was still alive. Yeah,
I agree with you. I think leave Odin the way he is, you know, it makes a lot of sense. I think just keep Odin. I never believed that was Odin when we saw him anyways. But Toki, I definitely think that Toki's alive. We've got Nigel who just subscribed. Thanks, Nigel. But Nigel also says that, you know, she can't be alive because Oda confirmed it in an SBS. But we've had that happen before, and that happened with Sabo, if I remember correctly. So I think that could be, you know, Oda proves time and time again that he's the master of misdirection. So he could have just set that in there in the SBS and it could be revealed later. So I think until the Wano arc ends and it's not revealed that Toki is alive, and even maybe even after that, there's a possibility that even after that, I will still believe that Toki is alive. Until we get it, see her, in the gravesite, until it's, really spelled out. I'm very hard on that train.
Is there a particular reason that you want her to be alive, or you just like her character a lot?
No, I think as a character, I like the fact that obviously because of her connection to, the Void Sentry, I think she has a lot of uses, and so I think there's, she could fill in a lot of the mysteries and the gaps that we have at the moment. But more so than that, I just think that the way that it's been written, I just don't believe that she is dead yet. We've got another, I think it's another Chekhov's gun that Oda showed us, that arrow, the fact that the arrow hit her leg, and that, why show us that if it's not going to come out later? Yeah, exactly. And I think I saw earlier, someone said in the chat, I'll try to find it, what do you think happened to the time fruit if Toki doesn't have it? That's another question. If Toki did die, then where has the time fruit gone? Where, who has it now? Did it fruit nearby? Did it fruit at Wano again for someone else to grab it? So I think there's just a lot pointing to Toki still being alive, which is just why I think we're gonna see it fruition. I mean, I guess, but also to that question, I guess if maybe if Toki did die and if Toki doesn't have it anymore, and if someone else has it, then maybe whoever the new time fruit user, maybe they've already traveled forward and they might not be a part of the story anymore. But I just think it's such an interesting devil fruit that Oda introduced. Before that devil fruit, the idea of time traveling was foreign to us in the world of One Piece. So I think for it to just disappear that quickly, I don't know. Personally, I just don't buy it. But anyways, we've got a few other questions. We've got Ramona Avila. Thanks for your question and thanks for your super chat. That Beppo plushie is fire. It is. It's very cool. I like the plushie a lot. And also both of you are happy with how Beppo has been used in comparison, say, Killer. I think that's a question. Are you happy with how Beppo has been used in comparison to, say, it's, someone like Killer? Also, keep up the good work. Thanks, Ramon. Seeing as you're the fan of the big, lore fan, how are you happy? Are you happy with how the Heart Pirates have been used in the series?
I mean, I love them. I do, but you can't really have the opinion that his law brings a lot. His Law's crew brings a lot to the table. I love Beppo, and he's a good navigator. Not very good at drawing maps though. So like even with that, I just think, I don't know, they weren't really ever meant to be a fighting crew. I think a lot of Law's tactics, as he showed on Dressrosa and stuff, were a lot of underhanded and maybe covert operations. And we just haven't seen them. That's not necessarily saying that they're definitely weak, but we definitely haven't seen their potential. I think I was really hoping, and still am hoping, I don't know if it's really going to happen at this point, but I was hoping that we were going to get a Beppo mink form, which would be crazy. Like an afro, like a Luffy afro. I feel like that would be sick, but I don't know if he would even be able to control it, because then if we're thinking about it, Carrot was so good in her Sulong form because she was trained right under Pedro, who was so good at it, and a lot of, like, the average mink dies if they can't control their Sulong form. So with Beppo not being really part of Zo, ever since his brother Zeppo went off and he tried to do all that, I don't think that he would have training under Sulong, so it probably wouldn't end well for him. But just on surface level, I would love Beppo to go Sulong form and kick some ass, but I don't know.
Yeah, I agree with
his crew
you.
definitely leaves something to be desired.
Yeah, yeah, I agree with you as well. I would love to see Beppo Sulong form as well, but and you know, if we were to ever get a moment like that, I think now would probably be the best time. You know, whilst we have such a heavy, you know, mink presence in an arc. But like you say, I don't know whether he's going to get it. But yeah, I think I'm not. I mean, I like Law's crew, but I'm not so happy. That I guess I would wish that, you know, Law has a more, you know, prominent crewmate, or a crewmate that's more prominent in the story, at least, you know, someone that you know, or a crew that's, you know, doing a bit more, that has a bit more of a seeded storyline in the story. But in terms of like as a crew, I think they're a lot of fun. I like seeing their interactions a lot. I like seeing their interactions with Laura a lot. You know, when they get separated and when they reunite with him, it's a lot of fun. It's great because, you know, Law's such like a solemn, like serious character, and then they're all just like, you know, they're exactly,
so happy. They're all so happy to see
exactly.
him.
It's just it's very
He's
sweet.
Just like, oh,
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, we've got a lot of people in the chat saying that they'd like to see Beppo go Sulong form. And we need to see four tricks Sulong, okay.
Four tricks, yes. the best smile user of them all.
So actually, we've got Gerald asking, such a cool design. And I don't know which character he's referring to when he says that, but I've actually got a question for you about what you think about Law's design. Does Law's design, like, is it something that affects why you like him so much, or?
Probably. I mean, I think it was definitely like the tattoos, like
you
definitely
like
augmented his character. His tattoos are just amazing. I actually have a Law tattoo.
Oh, really?
On my ankle.
What is it? Is it the
it's his Jolly Roger.
Yeah. Okay. That's mad.
But yeah, so I definitely am into the tattoos for sure. But yeah, his design definitely stuck out even on Sabaody, him and Kids, which, you know, the two most prominent supernovas for sure. And, and I also love the idea that he is the spotted seal while Beppo's the polar bear, and then Penguin's the penguin, and then Sachi has like the orca whale hat. So the fact that they're just all from the north and all those design ideas, I think is really cute. And once I found out about that, it blew my mind. But
yeah, that's really cool. I like that as well. We've got... Okay, so this isn't related to Law, but actually this is a funny comment. So we've got Yamil saying Briscola is the monkey, One Nudo is the dog, and Four Tricks will help Tama defeat Kaido. And so that's obviously the reference to the Momotaro legend. Are you familiar with the Momotaro legend and to Wano?
Yeah, just through One Piece and like the ideas behind it, I think it's pretty interesting.
Yeah.
It's the one with the phoenix, right? That's the same legend for it, or
Yep. The phoenix. It's the monkey, dog, and phoenix, helping. I guess Momotaro is a Japanese folklore hero who pheasant. Sorry, it's a pheasant, but Marco is obviously the phoenix. Yeah. Sorry, both starting with the PH. But yeah, so Marco as a phoenix, you know, could fulfill the role of the pheasant, and that's what I was thinking. That's what I said in the review. But we've got a different opinion here that we've got.
So I'm okay with that.
Yeah. Yeah, and I think it's just interesting. I think the thing that's interested me the most about Marco's role at Wano is just sort of like where he fits in, you know, what his role at Wano is going to be. You know, obviously he's like super strong, you know, quite, and like a huge force in the Wano arc, and especially on this raid, but it's sort of like, you know, he's just doesn't fit like quite clearly who he's going to fight in terms of, I think he's too strong against any of Kaido's like officers, but then he's not obviously going to be able to beat beat Kaido or Big Mom himself. So I think him, you know, coming along with Yamato and Luffy, now that Yamato is revealed to have like an Inu no Mi, would fit along really well. But yeah, so we've got a few people saying that now as well. We've got Fable, Momotaro Legend in Wano might be Momo, Luffy, Yamato, and Marco again. So I guess Yamato with the Inu and Marco with the pheasant, and Luffy obviously as a monkey. But the Momotaro legend, the interesting thing about that is also that that the Momotaro legend seems to be obviously split between like Momonosuke and Tama, because the way that he befriended and he had these animals, like he enlisted these animals to help him, is because he gave them dango. He fed them dango, and that's how they agreed to help him to fight against the Oni. So I like that, you know, it seems like Oda's often uses like a mix of different legends, or uses a legend to, you know, spawn like different character inspirations as well.
Yeah, he definitely loves the mythology.
Yeah, and I love it as well. I recently talked about Kaido as Kintaro, and there's another mythology there about Kintaro. I don't know if you've heard about the Kintaro legend. It's another Japanese folklore. But that one also, you know, to do with like beasts and the animal imagery as well. It seems like, especially now that the Wano arc is obviously centered in Japan, is about Japan, Oda's really flexing with all of his Japanese mythology, and it's great. I love it.
Yeah, it's awesome. It's a good excuse to go look at different mythologies, because, you know, even though we know that Yamato doesn't have the Kirin fruit, I spent so long
looking it up,
Kirins and the mythologies for it, that it was just, now I know about Kirins.
Yeah.
I read a manga.
Yeah.
It's just cool. And now we learn about the current fruit that he has. So
yeah, learning about like the history. Yeah. It was harder to find things about the Makami, actually. I couldn't actually find a lot about it when I was trying to read up on it. Actually, I don't know if Big Mac's in the chat. I haven't seen Big Mac yet. But Big Mac said during the reaction stream that that they linked me something to read, and I couldn't actually find it. I went back to read it, and yeah, I couldn't find it. Randy agrees with Yamil that it's going to be Briscola, 1 Yudo, and 4 Tricks that's going to help Tama defeat Kaido.
Yeah. If anything else happens, it'll be disappointing.
Yeah. It's always going to come back to 4 Tricks at the end of the day.
Oh yeah, for sure.
I saw
4 Tricks is great.
Is 4 Tricks your favorite smile?
Probably.
Okay.
I can't think of another one.
It's an easy one.
Speed is like my actual favorite, but 4 Tricks is right there too.
Yeah, fair enough. Actually, what's yours, Randy? I think Randy's might be 4 Tricks as well. I quite like Briscola as well. I really like Gazelle Man. I think Gazelle Man is a really underrated. Really underrated. He's so funny. I love his like character design. How he's so like top heavy, but then he just like runs like on his like legs.
Okay.
Yeah, I find all of those panels just
shape,
super funny. Yeah.
Yeah. He can only run for so long.
Yeah. And we've got another question. We've got Yamil. Actually, Yamil asked us a super chat as well. Thanks for the super chat. By the end of Wano, will Robin develop Haki? Savage. So we've got a question from the Savage Gang. So what? I guess it depends. You know, I would love for Robin to develop Haki. Which one are we thinking? You know, I think we would be able to see that. I think I think armament would make the most sense for Robin, but also just with her level of, I guess, maturity and like knowledge, I think, you know, obviously observation Haki would work well too. I think it's definitely within the realm of possibility. You know, maybe we might even see it next week. About, you know, about Robin's potential for Haki. What do you think?
Yeah, I think I would definitely lean towards armament, just because if she can put them on all of her arms anywhere she wants, that's pretty broken.
Yeah.
And I would love for that. I love that for her.
Yeah, I like that as well. And alright, we've got another one. Okay, we've got Isha. Thanks for the super chat. Let's be real, Law became a fan favorite the moment that he opened his mouth and said room shambles. I think it's
true.
I think it's when he
crazy.
Yeah, it is. He does have a, you know, OP just broken devil fruit power. I think the moment that I really liked. Sorry, go ahead.
I was saying that's in the name, Opie.
Yeah, exactly. It's even in his name. It's yeah. I liked when I think I immediately liked Law when he just flipped Kid off.
Oh yes.
In the auction
See,
house.
I didn't even know that happened because I was anime, so my mind was blown when we got censored 2 times that Law flipped someone off.
Yeah.
One Doflamingo and one Kid. Both are great scenes. And I said that it's not an anime because I didn't even know that happened.
It was just so it was just something very unexpected for me, which is actually funny because at that point I think I was still watching the anime as well at that point. I don't remember how. I think sometimes my friend would tell me if they knew that I was watching something, and they'd tell me actually this is what happened in the manga, because there's obviously the other big thing about Baratier and about Zeph. How do you feel about Sanji as a character actually? Are we fans? Yeah. I think.
Yeah. I like Zoro too. Just put it out there.
Yeah. No, there's no. Love for Sanji doesn't have to equate to have to detract our love from Zoro, and I think that's the message that we can take away from that. Perpetual Punster, thanks for your super chat. Tinfoil hat idea. I always love tinfoil hat ideas. Law may have saved Rob Lucci after Ennia's lobby. Law's pants and shoes can be seen on cover story with CP9 earning medical fees, chapter 498. Oh, okay, that's really interesting. I never came across that one. But Law may have saved Rob Lucci after Ennia's lobby. I guess that really goes back to the question about Law and his relationship with the world government. In that case, how much he's a part of, whether it's because it was as a agent of Sword, but also raises a lot of questions because, Sword and, obviously CP0 is the one that they seem to be directly opposed against, but CP9 as well, so interesting. Any thoughts?
Yeah, I don't know if it fits for him to do that, but it would definitely add something to his character if he did.
Yeah.
I mean, doctor's a doctor, you say
that's true. It's
but...
doctor's code.
Yeah.
I think I must have missed that with Law's pants and shoes being seen on that cover story though. I'll have to go back and check that out because I haven't made a video about cover stories and how much details we miss. How did I miss that one? Chapter 498. Thanks Perpetual Puns. I'll definitely go and check that out. That's something that you must be having fun, I guess, catching up on, reading the manga as opposed to the anime because of all the cover stories that got that obviously weren't included in the anime.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Is there a favorite?
There were so many that they had we got a little bit of the Kobe and Helmeppo, but I was cracking up when I read about Django and Full Body's adventure to Disco Island. I was like, what is happening? And then they make a disco dance in the courtroom so that Django doesn't get arrested. Like, what is this? And we didn't get any of that. And we just see them later on in the Marines, and then I didn't really question it at the time. But I wanted to make videos about that too, like each cover story.
Yeah.
And whether or not it was animated. Because some were, like Buggies were...
Yeah, there were definitely a few that were. I think they did do the ones, especially towards the earlier ones, but they didn't continue with it. And some of the speculations might be that I think some of the speculations are apparently the episodes didn't do that well when it wasn't, I guess, focused on the Straw Hats, but I think that's a speculation. I don't think that's confirmed why they didn't. But I think I don't understand why they don't just animate the cover stories instead of putting in the fillers and extending the anime, and playing around with the pacing. How did you? Because you said that you watched the anime until Whole Cake Island. How did you the pacing bother you at all? You didn't find a problem, just continuing with the anime all throughout?
No. I mean, there was definitely times on each main arc since the time skip that definitely drug on. Like Fishman Island was pretty bad, and towards the middle, Dressrosa was for sure bad. Like the Coliseum fights just took way too long, but everything else that happened in Dressrosa made me still love the arc. But and then Zoe was perfect, and then
short.
Yeah, Whole Cake Island was that kind of dragged on when they were escaping Big
Oh,
Mom's
yeah,
territory while Luffy was fighting. Which I love Katakuri too. He's like amazing, but it dragged on a lot.
Yeah.
But it didn't bother me enough too much. I definitely skipped some backstory flashbacks. Not the initial ones, but especially Rebecca's, I would just keep fast forwarding them. If I have to skip the episode, I will, because I'm sick of hearing about this girl.
That's funny.
But it wasn't bad.
Yes. Aleko's answering the question that, so they're saying as well that ratings were too low on the cover stories. I don't know if that was confirmed though, because I also read that that's just a speculation and that's not necessarily the case. But yeah, I mean, obviously animators work so hard and, you know, I really appreciate all their work. But with things like this, you know, I just wish that the cover stories could be animated, because like Fred says, that they're not filler, you know, they're actual canon. So it would just mean that all the other episodes would be better paced as well. Yeah,
I would give a good Daniel mini arc. For better pacing.
Yeah. Exactly. Yeah, and the mini arcs are a lot of fun as well. You know, taking a bit of breaks. We've got DJ Red comment. Thank you for your super chat. Do either of you think Big Mom is going to take one of the Supernova's souls? If so, Kid or Law? And if CP0 shows up, will Big Mom go berserk during the fight? Hashtag savage. And then, you know, fire emoji times I think 10 or something. I love the Savage Gang represent, and I love the represent of Randy's theories. I don't know if Randy's still in here. I saw him still a while ago, but we've got another one of Randy's ideas about Big Mom swooping in at the end of Wano and, you know, doing something, and that maybe being the tragedy and actually just taking away someone's soul at the end. I think personally, I actually think that Big Mom will be maybe not definitely defeated, but I think she will be defeated by Law and Kid to the point that it is a great win, and that she will be, you know, she will be out of action for Wano. You know, she could come back in a later arc. I don't think she'll ever be a main villain again, but I do think that Law and Kid will defeat them here. And with this one, are you saying if CP0 shows up, will Big Mom go berserk during the fight? Do we mean berserk because of the theory that CP0 and Big Mom are childhood friends and maybe she'll remember them from that? Or is it are we mentioning, I guess, the other parts of her backstory and, you know, parts of her memory being taken away, if that pudding theory is correct as well? I know that there's a theory about that, about Big Mom, but I'm not too sure. I think there's a theory that, you know, the CP0 member and Big Mom are childhood friends. I'm not too sure. Randy was here for the Lord Sword theory. Yes. What do we think about, have you heard about Randy discussed this. I got introduced to this because of the Revelry when Randy was discussing the possibility of, as Randy said, the likelihood of Big Mom coming in, swooping in and, you know, causing another tragedy just as the Wano arc is about to end and they're having a big feast. I don't think it necessarily referred to Kid or Law though.
Yeah, I don't know. There's a lot with Big Mom that she could continue on to the next arc, but she might, I don't know. Just speaking from the length of time that One Piece will be ending as a story perspective, I kind of hope that Big Mom ends here, because although she has a place in Elbaf, undeniably, I really just want that to be Shanks' arc. And I think someone said this in the Reverie, it might have been Randy, that if Big Mom is in an arc, she's not going to be a background character. You don't have really Big Mom as a background character, so if she's in Elbaf, she's going to be taking up a lot of panel time and big plot points because it's Big Mom. So I want all that to be focused on Shanks, especially since we already got 2 big arcs with Big Mom. So I'm hoping that maybe it's not Law and Kid who defeat her, but something happens. I think she definitely needs to be out of the race permanently by the end of Wano. I'm hoping, at least.
Yeah.
Just from a story standpoint.
Yeah, I see what you mean as well. I mean, I'm on the fence with that one because obviously, like you say, there's like big connections between Big Mom and Elbaf, but you know, obviously, it doesn't necessarily mean that she has to be there for that. We could still find out, you know, through other characters and get that resolved some sort of other ways. But I think even if she was to come to Elbaf, I think she'd be taken care of like quite quickly. You know, maybe even Big Mom could actually be used to showcase someone, you know, to showcase like Shanks's power and his strength. You know, we could have like a Yonko taking down a weakened Yonko and could just be taken care of quite quickly and then just resolve that in Elbaf. You know, you could even have like Luffy defeat a weakened Big Mom in some way, that way to showcase, I guess, Luffy's development and have that quickly taken out of the way. So I'm not huge on the idea of like Big Mom's story being extended further either. So, but
yeah, and if the Grand Fleet shows up, then maybe we can have the giant pirates show up, and then she could talk to that girl pirate that I don't remember the name of.
Yeah.
Who's designed like Nami, and I think it's a G, but I can't remember her name at the moment. But then we could just have it there where they kind of talk, and maybe Big Mom realizes what she did as a kid, and there could be some plot development there, so she doesn't have to be an Elbaf, but still get like the characterization there.
I love your logical like resolution of this, like that Big Mom's just gonna be nicely tied up through just a nice friendly chat, you know. Big Mom, this like King Kong like Godzilla, you know, woman's just gonna be like, okay, you know what? Alright, actually, you know what, I'm just gonna head back. I'm gonna head back to Toto Land, like maybe you're right. I love that just like calm resolution for that story. I don't know how likely it is, but I like it.
Right before she's defeated.
Yeah.
Maybe then she's defeated afterwards or something.
That's funny. We've got a few people saying, so Sadia says that Big Mom has potential to go to the end of the series, even though I know people will dislike it. I don't know what the dislike for Big Mom's character though is. I'm not necessarily saying that you're saying that, Sadia, but I do know that Big Mom as a character isn't very well liked, and it's an unpopular opinion that I have, but I really love Big Mom as a character. I think honestly she's one of the most terrifying individuals in the series, and the way that Oda plays around with just her like level of, I guess, instability, I find her just so terrifying. I love it whenever I see her. I think she's been a great addition to the Onigashima raid so far, and just how quickly, you know, she just does like literally whatever she wants. It's very refreshing to see her just act, you know, however, you know, she's not really under anyone's will or anything like that. Her just wreaking havoc. You know, and so in like we were discussing before, like you know, where we've got a series where, you know, there's a in a world where we've got like destiny and free will, and the inherited will, just seeing Big Mom just literally just, you know, doing whatever she wants. I like that a lot. But hey, Sadia says that they love Big Mom too. So
I was just saying that her character was super crazy.
Yeah.
Just like with her like childish nature and things like that.
Exactly. Yeah.
I like her. I like her stories.
Bigu Mamu.
Sorry to hear my cat. Yeah, I like a lot.
Oh, you got a cat. What's your cat's name?
This is Chloe.
Chloe.
And then Rose is also sleeping in the bed. They're like identical, but I'm like, oh yeah. No, she joins me for streams sometimes.
Oh, that's so sweet. We'll have to catch her next time.
Yeah.
But I'm loving.
Whenever she wants to be.
Oh, she's feeling a little shy. We've got a lot of. Actually, I'm very happy to see that we're getting a lot of respect on Big Mom in the chat. Lots of people fans of Big Moms. Okay, love to see it. Hytham, Joy Girl, Google Akintia. I'm not too sure. What does this relate to? I must have been late. Akintia. You'll have to let me know, Hytham. I also saw before as well that people. I couldn't mention. I read this whilst Laffy was speaking, so I didn't want to interrupt. But you'll have to comment again. Someone was, I don't know if you saw it as well, but if people let you know, but that the one Yudo, oh, she's joined us. Hi, Chloe. Oh, she's so, she's, yeah. She's like squirming to
She
get
just
away.
hangs out sometimes.
Oh, that's sweet. We've got a mascot.
Yeah, got 2 mascots.
Yeah.
So many.
I love it.
Like right cut off. She likes Beppo sometimes.
Oh, it's cute. What I was asking about before was the Wanyudo, obviously Black Maria's weapon. So apparently that's another wordplay where the one is actually a reference to the pug. The name for Wanyudo, that's why I guess you know how it was revealed that it has this pug smile fruit, and apparently, so that's another wordplay that Oda's added in there, that the one is actually, I think I'll have to go back to that comment again, because I read it in the comment for the chapter review, that I think it either is a relation to the to what they called about I guess a dog's bark, or it might be something more specific to the pug itself. But I thought that was really cool as well.
Yeah, that was an interesting little development there, that he was just a pug.
Yeah.
A pug smile.
Yeah, just adding that
So
in
what
there.
is this?
Yeah. The pirate hero, sorry.
Also,
Yeah, go ahead.
I was gonna respond that Law definitely loves cats because she's fluffy and Beppo is fluffy.
Yeah. I like the correlation.
Make sure it's clear.
Yeah. Was that a question? Was someone asking, does Law like cats?
Yeah, what if Law
Hates cats, Laffy. I can see that now. Yeah. We got, sorry, Pirate Hero. No, I haven't answered your question yet. We'll get to it. So, Pirate Hero, thanks for your super chat. I think Black Maria's body might be an illusion. Otherwise, couldn't Robin sprout limbs on her? And that's a really interesting question, because I didn't even think about Robin sprouting on Black Maria. But yeah, that's cool. I guess it could work, and I guess it's a question of whether whether Robin's ability only like works depending on like the level of strength of like her opponent, but you know, is there a ceiling to how her power works, I guess, is the question that I would have. But I like that. I didn't even really think about Robin being able to sprout, or like Robin actually sprouting on Black Maria.
Yeah, I guess we'll have to see next chapter. Hopefully next chapter that we get the continuation of their fight, because it didn't really start officially, so maybe it was just a coincidence that she hasn't. And then once the fight really starts going,
yeah,
I could see her like grappling all her legs, her spider legs. That would be a pretty good way to take her down. But
yeah,
we'll see.
Yeah, that's what I've always been saying as well. I really want Robin to actually just like gigantify her entire body and just become like Black Maria's size, and just to fight. But I guess with this one, with her sprouting her limbs on Black Maria, I think it's like maybe something that she wouldn't be able to do to someone who's like, you know, Black Maria being a Tobiroppo. Maybe Robin could do that to someone maybe on like who's more of a fodder. But actually, and because she did it on Aokiji, but he got away easily, and so it might have just been Aokiji just letting her sprout on him. And so it could be something that she's not able to do on a much more stronger opponent. Oh, and Randy's answering. Yeah, sorry, go ahead.
I was just saying that would be interesting, an interesting way to kind of nerf Robin in that sense. Like with Law, he couldn't shambles them.
Yeah.
You know, Big Mom and Kaido around, so maybe Robin would be able to do that.
Yeah, exactly. Like you know, just give her a ceiling, give her a limit to her power. And Randy's clarifying that he got that comment as well, that the Wanyudo itself is a reference to the folklore of the same name. Yep, I remember the Wanyudo folklore when we were first revealed of Black Maria's weapon, and when we got Black Maria's devil fruit as well revealed. But I like the reference, and I like the additional wordplay that Oda put in about the pug reference. But again, going back, just so many different, you know, mythological stories and legends coming into play at Wano, and I'm loving it because I grew up reading a lot of like Greek mythology, so I really enjoy things like that, and I like history a lot, so it's really interesting reading up on all of this.
Yeah. No, this is Rose. She just popped up here. Always scares me. She just jumps up whenever she feels like it.
She was a bit jealous. She was like, oh, Chloe's getting all the attention.
Yeah. Oh yeah, she woke up from her nap. She's like, I'm usually the one who's on stream, so she's a little cutie. She's a real ham too. But
it's so cute. She's like, what's going on?
She's a cutie.
And are we thinking, do you have any predictions for chapter 2021?
I'm hoping that it is the continuation of Black Maria and Robin, because that would be pretty cool to see the fight, first of all, but also have that next chapter cut off, you know, that would be the final Toby Ropo fight. And then we still have Killer's fight, and then of course Law and Kid, which that I hope gets like 5 chapters. Maybe not 5 chapters, but a lot of chapters, because I think that might be where Big Mom gets taken out. I think the two of them might be able to do it with enough time, and if they actually collaborate and they don't just fight the whole time. But yeah, I think it's Black Maria and Robin. I hope. That's what I'm thinking.
Yeah.
And then maybe Luffy and Momo making their way up to Onigashima, because that's something I'm looking forward to too now. I'm definitely on board to the idea that Momo could fly Luffy up, because I wasn't for it in the beginning, but I think it could work.
Actually, yeah, what are you expecting? What do you think of the Wano arc so far, or like in general? Are there things that, you know, you're expecting from Wano, for the future of Wano? You're expecting things to go somewhere?
Yeah, I mean, I think it has been really great. I think there were like some slow parts, but overall I think it's been paced out really well, and I like the idea that Oda is more kind of outlining the things that are happening and then leaving it up to the anime to flesh that out more. Sometimes they take liberties they shouldn't, but overall I think it's a good idea to like get through the main ideas behind the manga and the plot, and then let the anime expand on all the fights and stuff. But yeah, Wano in general is depending on how it ends, but I don't see an ending that would not make it possibly like my favorite or second favorite arc of the whole series. Probably just second to Marineford, which I think will always hold that place just because of what it was, and at the time that we got it, before Luffy knew what was going on and had all those characters.
Okay, so Marineford's your favorite arc.
Yeah. I mean, it's definitely it's close with Dressrosa. But,
okay.
I mean, Marineford's definitely better. And his lobby's up there too. Yeah, it's hard to rank.
It is very hard.
Rank that.
It is extremely hard. I think personally for me, I think I'd have to say Enies Lobby, but yeah, both Marineford and Enies Lobby are so great. And Wano now is obviously, like you say, it's like really stepping up to be a close favorite as well. Dressrosa, you're probably on the it's probably a unique take. I can't see many people saying Dressrosa, but personally I really enjoyed the Dressrosa arc as well, so
yeah, I'm rewatching it again, and because the dubbed had come out now, the dub is kind of moving along now, and although I prefer the subbed for sure, I just like, I mean, it's another reason, another slight variation to consume One Piece, so I jump at it. So I'm rewatching all of Dressrosa for the dubbed version now that came out.
Yeah.
And it still gets me with like Law versus Doflamingo, and I was just at the part where Sanji versus Doflamingo, that quick clash on the Sunny, which was amazing. It's just little things on that arc just still get me. I don't know why.
Yeah, no, I mean Dressrosa, I love it as well. Randy says that Dressrosa is in his top 5. Ryo says that Whole Cake Island is his favorite arc, but it's not the best. With that Dressrosa, the documentary that you were talking about earlier, the Grand Line Reviews one, I think I made a comment as a joke that the best thing to come out of Dressrosa is this documentary. And I was just saying that as a joke. I actually really love Dressrosa, and I think people responded, and I think they got offended that I was actually throwing shade on Dressrosa, but it was just a bit more of a joke. I was just saying a joke to Liam, and I think people might not have realized that. Started a little bit of a disagreement. And we got Walmau. Thanks for your super chat. That's a nice Beppo plushie, but where is the Woywell plushie? Can we expect a big news announcement? Also, is this the last big fight for Robin, considering her last big solo fight was in Skypiea? I would really hope not. I don't think that this should be her last fight. I think it's great that all the Straw Hats are getting set up to have a major fight in Wano, but I don't think that should be it. Also because we've got, you know, the setup between the Straw Hat versus Blackbeard. That's coming up as well, so I think it only makes sense that we're going to get another. I think that last fight, all the Straw Hats should get a big moment in that matchup as well. So no, definitely not the last big fight for Robin, or at least, you know, in my hopes. And about the Woywell plushie, we got Randy in here as well, because, you know, we're getting. Are you still receiving questions about a Randy plushie as well, Randy? I'll ask Morge about how to order plushies. I don't know. I think I saw Mr. Morge still saying that he's still got a lot of plushies left to sell, so I don't know how this all works. I don't know how many people would buy a plushie. Maybe we'll put this in a poll. Would you buy a Woywell plushie? We'll see. We'll see, well, now, we'll see based on the results of this poll. What do you think about the Robin fights?
Yeah,
Laffy.
for the future, I definitely think that while she might not have like I don't know. I think she definitely needs a lot more in her fights, because especially with the Blackbeard pirates, I don't know who she would fight. Katarina Devon, maybe? I don't know. That would be Nami fight. But I really like team up battles too. Like the fact that she's fighting with Brooke is amazing. And so I just hope that for like the final arc against Blackbeard, or if the final arc is at Marijua against like, the Gorosei, I think she definitely has a big role to play over there. Yeah. And maybe fight someone who knows something about the history, and then they can have like that dialogue back and forth. I don't know, but I would be down for it.
Yeah. I like that as well. I really like group fights too. I'm hoping that we actually see one in Wano. I made a video about how I actually hope that we could have the Straw Hats have a group fight against Kaido, whilst Luffy's just temporarily out, and just whilst, you know, he's, I guess, feeling the after effects of, you know, whatever new ability he's learned and developed. Whilst he's just taking a bit of a break, I hope that the Straw Hats actually jump in and just sort of keep Kaido at bay for a while. And I'd love that. So
yeah, I think that would be cool.
Yeah. Fresh Ingredients says not during a pandemic. I think he's talking about the plushies. Okay, so I'll have to time the Joy Girl plushie in a time where it's good for everyone, where the economy is doing pretty well. Yeah. Actually, yeah. What other combo? Do you see other combo attacks happening in Wano so far? Or as, you know, are you expecting anything else from Wano? Any group fights?
I'm really hoping that we're gonna get Roof Piece again, where not only Luffy goes up there, but maybe this is again Law agenda. But I hope that Law and Kid beat Big Mom in a timely manner, so that they can also join back on the rooftop, and then Zoro and Sanji might team up, and then they'll make it to the rooftop, and maybe just the whole Straw Hat crew will be at the rooftop for like that final maybe attack, kind of like an oars thing, where
exactly,
they all contribute a little bit to the final blow against Kaido. I think that would be really cool. So, because, you know, a lot of the Straw Hats wouldn't be able to hold up against Kaido for any extended period of time. Like one hit from the Kanabo takes out the majority of the Straw Hats at this point, especially they're all worn out. Yeah. So
Yeah.
I mean, I would love for them to get up there though.
Yeah, I agree. I think I like that a lot. I would like to see we could have multiple like roof piece. You know, we could have the roof piece part 2 with the Momotaro legend coming out to play. You know, we could get Luffy with Yamato and Marco up there, maybe even Momo joining in, and then we could get roof piece 3 with Luffy and the Straw Hats. I'd like that. I don't think
Yeah, because I'm hoping maybe Yamato won't be defeated.
Will be or won't be defeated?
Maybe won't be.
Won't be
maybe,
defeated, okay.
He'll hold off Kaido until Luffy gets there, and then they'll both attack, and then Kid and Law will show up, and it'll be like this slow, and then Marco, and then Zoro and Sanji, and it might be this scene where just more and more people keep showing up to the roof, and eventually, after all the Straw Hats and Law and Kid and Marco and Yamato, maybe Momo, even Tama have some place in that. Pikachu goes in against him. I don't know.
That would be amazing if we saw Tama
like,
getting a piece of the action.
Yeah. I think that'd be awesome.
Yeah, that would be a lot of fun. Because I think a lot of the thing is that obviously, like, even going with the Straw Hats one, I don't think they'll necessarily be physically damaging Kaido. But you know, I think we could just have like funny moments. I think a lot of things would like bring us give us room for a lot of like comedy as well. Like I can imagine like Usopp trying to shoot Kaido with like a slingshot, which would just be like, you know, hilarious. And just not enough to like completely stop or damage Kaido in any way, but just slow him down and actually like reaching Luffy so that Kaido isn't able to reach Luffy to kill him and finish him off. Is more what I have in mind. But yeah, it'll be a lot of fun. We got Joker. Big Mom will eat Tama. No, please.
Please don't. That would be. She's already eaten too many children. Yeah. We need to stop it there. Oh my gosh.
We got Chin asking, "Lol, Randy, what's your new agenda now?" Yeah, we've got to ask, is there a new agenda that you have, Randy? Share it with us first. You guys, you heard it here first. The Savage Gang heard it on the Joy Girl / Laffy stream first. Let me just, I'm trying to fix this poll because I don't even know. Oh, 1 second. Got too many tabs opening up.
Giant pirate mug. Big pirate mug.
Was that your pirate mug? You've got a pirate mug. You have to show us.
Yes.
Oh, I love it! Wow! It's like a... That's great.
And it's juice, so it looks like blood or something.
Yeah, looks something. Yeah. I love it. That's great. Where did you get that one?
This one? Actually, don't know. It might have been. Oh, it was a white elephant or Yankee swap, whatever you would call it, for Christmas with a friend group, and that was just one of the random gifts.
Yeah, that's nice.
I was very happy.
Yeah, it's very fitting. We got Fable saying if I think it was Fable, maybe I just scrolled too fast. Yeah, Fable, Randy should join the stream if he has time. Feel free to join in, Randy. You know, actually I don't know if I'll be able to manage this, but if you let me know how I can put you on the screen as well. And if you guys are fine with having a condensed screen, yeah, feel free to join in at any time, Randy, by the way. It's always fun having other, you know, content creators here. I've had Jay come up in the chat a few times in previous streams. He came on when Randy and I were streaming. And that's funny. And you know, Jay's always great. He's got great funny content. He's a chopper. There's a bit of chopper hate, which I don't approve on, but gotta love.
I'm kind of on his side for that, but we don't have to talk about it.
You're on his side. You're not a chopper fan. Oh my goodness. Why was I not let known of this? All right, you've got to explain. You've got a bit of time to explain yourself, Laffy. You've got to give us an explanation why.
Yeah, I mean, I will say that reading the manga, because besides the video for my YouTube channel, I am on like Skypea and my own personal read through, but and Chopper's a lot more bearable in the manga. I don't, you know, but he's my least favorite Straw Hat. He's at the bottom of the list.
Okay.
He's just, I don't know. He's just not cute to me. It's
Really?
just annoying. The only times I appreciate his presence is when it adds to Law's character in his fight. And, like, their dynamic. That's the only time I'll respect Chopper.
Wow, okay.
But,
Oh. Alright, maybe we should cut the stream off here, guys. I don't know what you say. I'm lost for words.
Yeah.
How did you feel? What about his backstory?
What was that?
What about his backstory?
Yeah, I mean, yeah, it was good. It was a good backstory, but I don't want to get too much into it. I'll just go off on it.
Okay, alright, then maybe,
It was,
if Randy, is Chrissy here actually?
I think he's getting better.
Because Randy will tell you that Chrissy will have some words to say. I think Randy told us that Chopper's Chrissy's favorite character. So.
Oh really? I know that, you know, by and large he is a favorite character, so I keep it on the down low.
Yeah.
But,
all right.
just.
That's alright. I'm sorry for exposing you like that. But it had to be done. Yeah.
You know, I mean, his backstory is like, it was impactful. I just still I don't think it really added much to his character now. Like, at the time he was cool. It's just the more that he's with the crew, the less I like him.
Okay. How about
He was cool at introduction.
Okay, I see. Okay, I see. I think I see what you're saying. So it's not necessarily him in Drum Island. It's just everything following.
Yeah.
Okay. We've got Joker says JD is somehow gaining power at this very moment. Yeah, JD can feel it. He's probably sitting in his room like something's going on.
I enjoy his podcast.
Yeah.
I enjoy listening to him talk about Chopper because I feel very much the same. But no, like his backstory was like really impactful, and I felt really bad for him about like all the things that he went through. Like it doesn't take away from that. It's just that he hasn't had much character development since then. I mean, I could be missing something, but he's powerful. He definitely brings a lot to the crew, obviously, and it's just, I don't know. That's it.
So you must have been horrified to see that I saved. Oh, you guys can't see it. It's I've got my rescue Chopper behind me, but he's on the top shelf. So I saved Ace Chopper from the trash, and you must have been on Jay's side. Just leave him there. But Randy says that Chrissy's actually next to him. So Randy, what does Chrissy have to say about this?
I know it's unpopular opinion, but it's a strong opinion. Yeah. I'm sorry.
All right, that's okay. No, I didn't mean to expose you like that. It's fine, you know. People have different opinions, so you know. I think it's just funny that like I like.
Lie about it.
Yeah. I'm glad that you know. I like that. I just like how I think it's just interesting that, you know, obviously we love the same series. You know, to the extent that we dedicate a lot of our time, you know, making these videos, but you know, you still can have like very different views about the series, and, you know, come to different conclusions. And I guess, you know, there's so much to love about One Piece, so you know, it's your opinion.
Right, yeah.
And doesn't seem like Chrissy's very mad at you either. Randy says that she's very much used to the Chopper slander, so I have to say I really liked seeing Chopper in the Water 7 arc when they go to save Usopp from the Frankie family, and when we have the boys doing their walk again to the Frankie family. I love how Chopper, even though, you know, is a little just, you know, beef up for it, and I just thought that was like adorable, but also, you know, just such a meaningful moment as well at the same time.
If it helps, I think one of the most epic Chopper moments was on Sabaody pre-time skip, where it was the first time that we had seen him take all 3 Rumble Balls at the same time, and I remember losing my oh my god when that happened, where he just went 3 Rumble Ball to start with. I was like, wow, this is intense that Chopper is doing that.
Yeah.
So he obviously has really good moments. Just he's just at the bottom of the list.
Fair enough. I mean, yeah. I think that's why I would just say the Straw Hats is my favorite character. It's still hard to choose between them. But it's alright. We don't have to keep talking about Chopper. We might start something. So actually, then within the Straw Hats, do you have a favorite Straw Hat?
Definitely Luffy. I know it's a cliche, but Luffy is like my second favorite character of the whole series. So yeah, it's hard to like rank them all, but it'd probably be like Luffy, and then Sanji, and then maybe like Robin. And then it gets kind of fuzzy. Yeah. Because there's times where Frankie kind of falls to the end, but then but then he has like really
You're just breaking my heart, Laffy. I think I'm gonna have to stop asking you these questions. Just said that Frankie falls to the end at times. You're breaking my heart.
I know, my boyfriend is obsessed with Frankie, and we always
Frankie's so hilarious. I love Frankie.
Yeah, I love him too. It's just I think it's a different bottom though. Like Chopper's way down here, but like Frankie and Brooke and Nami and Robin, Usopp, like they're all still very high on the list. Yeah. They're just all kind of smudged together. Like I have the top 5 and then the rest of them and then Chopper.
I see. And everyone make sure to go check out Laffy's video because she did make a top 10 character video if you haven't seen it. So make sure to go check it out. And based on her discussions now, it seems like she has interesting picks. So it's definitely worth a watch.
Yeah, that was so hard to make. I remade the list so many times, and I still left out Robin. I don't know how I left off Robin and Marco. I love them, and I didn't even include them in my top 10.
I think
I could make a new one every week.
Yeah, I think you would have to. And the hardest thing about like making top 10s is I find that I have to like set crazy parameters. Like I wouldn't just be able to do like top 10 favorite characters in One Piece. Like I would have to do something like top 10, like something ridiculous, like top 10 favorite characters who aren't in the Straw Hats who were only introduced pre-time skip. Or like, you know what I mean? Like I would never just be able to do like just really have to narrow down the topic because it's just way too hard to choose otherwise. There's so much to love.
Yeah, I might do like a good guys one and then
exactly,
like this one, like that would be because there's so many antagonists.
Yeah, and so great antagonists as well. Yeah.
I got Toki blanket.
I love it. I'm sure a lot of people like that. I think I saw earlier when we were asking about the plushies, a few people said that they'd like to buy Doffy plushies. Do you have a Doffy plushie? I can see a lot of you've got a lot of different merch. You've got the Doffy blanket. A lot of respect there.
Oh yeah. Yeah, speaking of plushies, I have Tekkings. Very deep brick.
Oh really?
So I'm down for the plushies.
Okay, great. How about you'll have Mr. Morge asking you soon then as well.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, that's mad. Shout out to Tekking as well. Let Tekking, you guys have to let Tekking know that Laffy has his Barry de Brick.
Yes. Yeah, I love just like all the like cosplaying stuff. I'm actually going to a convention if anyone is in the DC area this Friday.
Nice.
To Otakon. I don't know how to pronounce it, but I'll be cosplaying as Law, which is my favorite, of course. But
that's amazing.
So I love cosplay.
You'll have to show us afterwards.
Of course.
That's amazing. What was the con? Sorry, did you say?
It's Otakon, like Otakon. 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 I don't know. But yeah, Otakon. I see in the chat.
Yeah.
I'll only be there on Friday, but there's like a One Piece cosplay meetup that I'll be able to go to, and it's the first convention that I'll be able to go to in 2 years because everything. I mean, it's still going on, but like masks are required and everything. And I actually have a Law mask over there too, so
nice.
I'll be good.
You'll have to post the photos afterwards. You'll have to show us. You should take Barry with you. You should take Barry with you, and you could let Tekking know that way.
I have his sword
yeah,
here.
the Kikoku, yeah.
The last time that I cosplayed, I tied Beppo to the edge of it, kind of like Chopper was in Punk Hazard. So I was carrying around Beppo on the back of my sword. But unfortunately, Otakon has strict no swords, even like fake swords.
Oh.
So unfortunately, I won't be able to carry around Law's sword as Law, but...
Right. That's right, you can take the Barry plushie instead. Tekken's awesome as well. I remember during the revelry, he made a joke that there's a 6 a.m. in Australia. Whether there's a 6 a.m. because I was joining in the revelry around 6 a.m. my time, and he said that he was shocked. But every time he releases a video, it's 6 a.m. for me. And I'm thinking, what does Tekken mean? He's always releasing these videos at 6 a.m. And I see a lot of people asking about Tekken and a collab with Tekken, maybe one day, but we'll have to get the time differences right. The time zone, I got really worried when I was trying to organize this with Laffy as well, because I originally told her Tuesday morning to afternoon, and then it hit me last night, or around the afternoon last night, thinking, oh my goodness, I hope she realizes that Tuesday morning / afternoon for me will be Monday evening for her.
Yeah, I had to look up, the time zone converter when I realized how opposite it is. So I was like, well, either late or early, but I'm down for anything because this is super fun, and I'm glad that we got to do this.
I'm glad. Yeah, me too. I'm glad that you came on because I was very worried that that we got the time difference wrong. So like I told you, Laffy, that we usually keep our streams to about 2 hours. I haven't gotten the new camera yet, guys. It should be on its way soon. But so we usually cap our streams to 2 hours. So we've got about 15 minutes left. Were there any final, was there any topics or any final thoughts that you wanted to share?
You or the chat?
Both. Anyone? Yeah, you could say. Yeah, you started off. I mean, you're with us, so.
No, yeah, I didn't have anything in mind in particular. How'd you feel about the last few episodes of the anime? You said that you had watched it, specifically with Zoro's Conquerors Haki in this past episode, because I felt like it was kind of paced poorly, and I wasn't too happy with the past 2 episodes. What are your thoughts?
I think the most hardest part about that is that obviously came after such a great episode in 982 as well. So the quality in 982 was like movie quality, everything was just superb, and then things after that obviously wasn't to the same quality. And I spoke to Randy about this during our stream last week as well. I think the thing for me was I usually don't mind when the anime extends things if they're doing it in a way that is logical and fits the story. Something like Zoro's Conquerors Haki, Randy actually said that he didn't mind that so much, but that's something that I did wish that was saved obviously for when we got to see it in the manga, because obviously the hype and the explanation for something like that to bloom whilst Zoro is mid-fight and fighting against the strongest creature in the world, just adds so much more to Zoro's character and adds so much more meaning to it. So things like that I wasn't the biggest fan of. Also because of, for me, this goes back to the Toki theory again. And I know that the anime basically confirmed that shadowy figure following Robin and Jinbei is Yamato. Whereas for me, I was thinking that could maybe be Toki as well. So I guess we'll have to wait because there are a few other hints in the manga that I'm waiting for it to play out, and maybe the anime will go a different direction again. But like I keep saying, I'm gonna hold on to my Toki is alive theory, but the anime seems to be going against that quite a bit.
Right.
So
I think the whole Zoro thing, I was pretty unhappy about it. Still am, because I had just pretty recently watched it because I also do an anime react thing. Right? Yeah. But yeah, I was not happy. We were talking about it for like an hour about the different ideas, because it's either, the way that it was portrayed in the anime, which I think makes me the most unhappy, is that Zoro looks like he knows what he did and did it on purpose. And even to this moment in the manga, he doesn't know what
Exactly.
he was doing, or he did it on accident, and it made a lot of sense that he put everything he had into that last attack, which brought out conquerors. Like, that made 100% sense, and that he didn't really catch what he did, because, you know, he's in battle mode, he's not being observant maybe, or just, it was the first time he's ever used it, which is plausible.
Yeah.
And the fact that he used it for the first time ever in the entire series on some fodder, like 4 random beast pirates because they dropped soup. Like, he didn't gain anything from knocking those people out. It'd be one thing if he was like surrounded and they're about to get captured, or some anime filler and he knocks all of them out and like they get away, or they pursue whatever they're doing and continue on. But it was nothing. It was completely offhanded, and it totally took away from his character.
Yeah.
Because the moment in the manga was like, holy god, this is amazing. Zoro has conquerors, which I'm sure a lot of people already speculated, as I did, because of course he's gonna get conquerors. But to see it portrayed in the anime like that was just awful.
Yeah.
To say it nicely.
It is definitely a strange, I think it was definitely like a strange decision to have that placed here. I don't, like I said, you know, obviously the animators put in a lot of work, and I appreciate that, but yeah, this one was very strange. Ryo, thanks for the super chat. I don't know if you were asking a question with that, but thanks, I appreciate it nonetheless. And hey, Liam's joined us. I don't know if you were here for the whole stream, Liam. Are you just joining us now at the end, towards the back end? At least it was better used than Kid. Kid's Conqueror's Haki didn't even knock the dudes out. Good, and so Liam's here.
Yeah, they had a big eye thing in this anime episode. Yeah. Like, a bunch of eyes just kept shining everywhere. I said in my reaction that it looked like just someone was pinging everyone's eyes on like a video game map, where it was just, but nothing would happen. Like the Zoro knocked some people out.
Just made
Kid
sense.
did
Yeah.
it, Luffy did it.
Yeah.
And nothing happened. Just what were they doing?
Yeah.
I don't know.
It was strange. Ryo said that I saw Ryo saying earlier that 986 looks like it's going to be good. I didn't stick around to actually watch the preview for 986. But even 985, I felt like we had a lot more of a recap than I've been seeing in previous episodes. I don't know if that's just me, but I felt like a lot of the first half of the episode was a lot more of recaps as well.
Sorry, I'm laughing at Grant. His comment. Kids Conquerors Haki was like an awkward person. Never. Like unsure, you know, testing the waters.
Thanks, Liam. I like how we were going with this. Liam coming in with the dirty chat. You know, he always has the best analogies. And
he's not wrong.
Yeah. Fable, thanks for the super chat. Great stream. Everyone follow them both. Yes, thanks so much, Fable. Like, yep. Everyone, make sure to go check out LaffiTraffi's channel. Make sure to subscribe and watch our videos. Watch that top 10 video as well. We'll see all of our other characters as well, and how we ranked on this. Fighting music is going to be hype in the anime. I mean, yeah, there were definitely. I think that was just what the strangest part for me was, that everything up until this point. Most of the previous episodes I had been really impressed with so far, and I'd been, you know, really going hard in all of my videos and all my streams saying, everyone, guys, start watching the anime, it's really great. And then that one last week, 984 and 980, wait, is it 983 and 984 now? Or 984 and 985, I forget, but it was just a bit strange. Liam says, you've arrived at exactly the wrong time. What do we mean by that? Is it because we're ending? Maybe Liam's sad that we're wrapping up the stream pretty soon. And Ryo, I just read your comment that that was just a donation. Thanks so much. Thanks, Ryo. Ryo is one of our Discord mods, and I'm very proud of all of our Discord mods. I've got Fred in here as well. We've got Walmau and Red and Walmau, I guess I was allowed to say. But everyone, if you haven't checked out the Joyfleet server, make sure to check that out as well, please. And to join our Discord server. We're having fun. Laffy's in there now as well. Randy's in there. You'll see them. Liam, I haven't seen you in the Joyfleet server actually, so maybe you've joined right at the right time. And yeah, Fred saying come join the Discord. Very proud of the little server that we've created, and super thankful to everyone who's joined, but obviously super thankful to all of my mods who really helped out and got me to start the Discord, because I say it over and over again, but I am really a tech noob. Liam saying I never sent you a link. It was in my review, Liam. The link was in the review. See, Randy found it. Laffy found it. Now we're just exposing Liam. But yeah, so we've got about 10 minutes left. Is there anything, maybe a question about, how do you see Wano ending?
Yeah, I'm not sure, because there's a lot that needs to happen still, but I think the consensus is that we're probably going to go to Elbaf afterwards. So I don't know how that would exactly end, because I'm also caught up with who's going to join the Straw Hats after Wano. Will it be Yamato? My personal goal is for Yamato to join the Straw Hats, because I think there's a lot of character development for them. And but I could also see Momo and Tama joining to kind of parallel Roger's crew. I know a lot of people bring that up as well. Yeah. But I feel like Momo's place really is in Wano, so I would like him better to be in Wano and stay there. That's why I'm very upset that, Keen and Kiku and a lot of the Scabbards might all actually die in the arc, that there won't be anyone to help him grow into the Shogun that he needs to be. So, I don't know.
Yeah, fair enough. I like that. Yeah, the questions about who's going to be the next Straw Hat is always very interesting. I was very I liked Yamato as well as joining the Straw Hats initially, but after I also said this in the review that it seems like Yamato may be linked to a different deity, another guardian deity, even on top of through Yamato's devil fruit, through the name of the attack that we saw, the Namuchi Glacial Fang. Oh, we've got, is it Chloe or Rose? Joining us back.
This is Rose.
Rose is back. And if we go by Yamato's devil fruit attack, the Namuchi Glacial Fangs, apparently the Namuchi, I think I read, I was reading up on like what Namuchi could mean, and it could be linked to a different guardian deity called like Owa Namuchi. And apparently that guardian deity is the god of nation building. So that makes me think maybe Yamato actually might be staying at Wano to help rebuild the nation afterwards. But I know that Yamato is a fan favorite for joining the Straw Hats at the moment. What about, and Liam says he wants a personalized invite, and that because my review came out at 2 a.m. Okay, fair enough, Liam, I'll give you that. I'll make sure to send you a personalized invite, so this time we'll have no excuses. And I guess what's your favorite thing about Wano? I think because my favorite thing right now is I'm really loving all of the discussions that are coming out from all of the recent reveals that we're getting, because obviously we're getting huge reveals. But what would be your favorite thing? What do you like most about Wano?
I don't know. And there's really, this arc has been so good, I think.
Apart from lore.
It's hard to, it's hard to really pick out one thing, but I really do love the clash with Luffy, Law, Kid, Killer Zoro, like that, and then Big Mom and Kaido, like that was just epic. Epic proportions. But yeah, you're right. I mean, there's also a lot of lore that we're still discovering, which is also amazing. So just the progression of Luffy's crew towards the One Piece, especially Odin's flashback, that was amazing. That was a highlight, especially in the anime. I had saved all of that to binge all together, and I'm glad I did that because that was an amazingly portrayed flashback in the anime. It was good pacing and everything.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think there's a lot of stuff that we're learning about the One Piece itself in Wano and
exactly,
how they're gonna get there. So I like the plot progression of the series as a whole in Wano, and it's really interesting.
Yeah, definitely. I think the fact that we have so many characters at Wano as well gives us, you know, also explains why Wano is, you know, becoming like such a long arc. But it's a lot of fun, you know, seeing all of these characters interact. Like personally, like I said, because the Straw Hats are my favorite part of One Piece, I love that the Straw Hats are getting a focus at Wano. But you know, the whole interaction between Kid, Law, and Luffy was just hilarious as well. That we were seeing, you know, up on the roof when they were going against the Yonko, them like trying to one-up each other. That was hilarious. I love that as well.
Yes. Oh yeah, with the faces, they did law dirty.
Yeah.
When they were all fighting the fireballs. Oh man.
Actually, yeah. What about what are your thoughts on Kid? Because during the revelry, I was really surprised that, you know, there are some people who believe that Kid might even die, and that Kid's story might be getting wrapped up, or that, and even also that Kid, you know, I guess we touched on this a little bit before about the possibility of, you know, Kid and Law actually defeating Big Mom, because like I said, I think Kid and Law could defeat Big Mom, but a lot of people also think that Kid it's not in their story, and I think that Big Mom's going to defeat them instead, or that Kid and Law won't be able to defeat them. But do you have any thoughts on Kid more specifically as well?
Yeah, I really like Kid, despite, you know, all the slander that he gets, and, you know, he definitely hasn't lived up to expectations, but to be fair, if you don't have the advanced armament Haki, which few characters do, or if you have coincidentally Law's fruit itself, because, you know, he can get around those things too. It's just hard to compare Kid with Luffy right now, and I don't think, like, I think Blackbeard's the main Luffy rival. I don't think that Kid needs to fulfill, I don't think he needs to live up to what Luffy is, because on purpose, Luffy is so far above the rest of them. But I think he's doing the best he can with what he's got. I think he's still impressive. I think, you know, he's still hanging in there. And him and Killer, I mean, Killer's off on his own fight too.
Yeah.
I love Killer. I feel like Killer kind of showed up Kid himself.
Yeah, Killer's had great moments as well. Killer's had great moments on the roof. I think for me is like,
yeah, I was impressed by
Kid. The sides as well. I love the way that he was using his attacks. It was great. He had great showings against Kaido. With the thing with like the rivalry, because I agree that obviously the main antagonist is going to be, you know, and I guess the wording with the rivalry is like what I see differently is, I think between Kid and Luffy, it's more of like a friendly rivalry, whereas Blackbeard is an actual, you know, antagonist, not the same sort of rivalry that existed between like Roger and Whitebeard. You know, whereas I think, you know, Blackbeard is a true villain. You know, he's obviously someone that led to his brother's death. So, but so that's the only thing that's, I guess, like why I see the differences between like the rivalry / the villain between Kid and Blackbeard. But I agree that, you know, I think I like Kid as a character as well, and I like his devil fruit as well, so that's something that really attracts me to Kid. I really like anything like magnetic based, metal based, in like all sort of media. I really like Magneto, for example, so I really like
right.
Yeah, so exactly. And yeah, Killer had great moments as well. I see what you mean that, like, you know, Kid hasn't like had the greatest moments, and I can understand. I think someone said that it's just infuriating that Kid hasn't done much, but maybe that's because we're gonna see more from him, you know, from here on out. And no one really had, I think in my opinion, no one had better moments than Zoro up on the rooftop at this point.
True.
Um,
Yes.
so there's some love
Yeah.
for Liam as well. And Liam also said earlier, too long don't read. The revelry was everyone will die. But though in my defense, Liam, I said everyone is pelled until proven. So I was on the opposite side of that discussion. Um,
Mhm. Yeah, I like to believe that characters die when they die, just so that I don't miss out on their death if it is
mhm.
real. Because I'd rather have them, found out to be alive later, and then I'd be like, oh, good, they're alive. Other than think that they're alive, and then oh, it's been like 2 arcs, they're still not dead. Oh, maybe they did die. That sucks.
I
I
like
try to
what you mean
believe
by
it. I
that.
know it's
Yeah, it's like so that you actually
yeah.
still have
I try to
time to
go for the win-win.
mourn. Give them their
Yeah.
mourning period. I
Yeah,
like
because
that a lot.
yeah, I think, yeah, I think Keen, so therefore, I think Keen and Kiku and Kandro are actually dead. And I
Mm.
think that that's super impactful with the way that Keenmon went out. And Kiku, there was some hate for her for not being able to cut down Kandro, but I mean, they were friends, so you can't hate her too much for it. But I don't know, the way that Keen went out trying to stop Kaido from going after Momo, I mean, it was a good death, and they got silhouetted. So
Mm.
I feel like that was a pretty solid death to me, and I'm surprised a lot of people still think that he's alive. I would love for him to be alive, but I really just don't think he is. But if he is, then I'm happily surprised.
Yeah, I like where you're going with it. I like where you're coming from. That give them their mourning period, make sure that they get some sort of closure, and then we'll deal with it. That is the awkward thing about keeping
Yeah.
people alive. It's like in my heart, it's like they're alive, but then I haven't. If I didn't give them their proper respect for their death. So I see where you're coming from. We've got a super chat from Yamil. Thanks for your super chat. Who in Wano you could see joining Law's crew? So actually, this might be better for you, Laffy, if you have anyone that you'd like to take into Law's crew from Wano.
Yeah, Law's crew is definitely, like we were talking about earlier, is kind of the weakness for Law as a pirate.
Mm.
It didn't really cross my mind that anyone would join Law's crew, because it's almost kind of like we try to not forget, because I love his crew as like characters, like they're really fun, dynamic, with especially Beppo, Sachi, and Penguin. So I love his crew, but strength-wise, you just kind of push them off to the side, and it's really just Law is like the heart pirates, and he's the one who for sure carries the rest of them. But so I didn't really think that. Oh, and John D. Bart, of course. I forgot. I can't forget about him. But yeah, I think I can't really think of anyone who would make sense joining Law and not just join Luffy. Like Momo, Tama, and Yamato are the big contenders. I don't think there's anyone else that I can think of that would really join. Do you have any thoughts on that? Because I can't think of anyone.
For
really.
joining Law, okay, for joining Law, okay, so believe it or not, I can actually see, I'd like to see who's who join Law. Because like we said, I think Law needs like a strong right-hand man, like Zoro, or like how Kid has Killer. And so now that we know that who's on the run from the world government, I think if the Beast Pirates lose, then I think it could be a good addition there to have who's who join Law, which is there's something there, but I know that it's wild. But everyone here in the chat should be used to that from me by now. So that's something that I'd like to see. And
Right.
Liam's weighing in saying that Kinnamon's 100% alive, and that during the revelry, everyone will die except Toki, who died but is alive. Okay, no, so pelled until proven. That's all I'll say. Pelled until proven. That's and yeah. Okay. Any final words before we say goodbye to the chat and say goodbye to Laffy? So both the question to you, Laffy, and to the chat. Anything that you want to ask Laffy?
Yeah.
Law needs some 4 tricks too.
Oh no. I'm good.
Or you can, by the way, Laffy, you could tell us as well if there's anything that you would if there's anything that you would like to end on. Hi Tham, thanks for your super chat. Imu is a Cynthia sun god sitting on an empty throne. Okay, so this must be the Cynthia I guess that you told me to read up on. I will read up on it. Thanks for showing it to me again, Hytham. I'll make sure to have a read on it. Cynthia is a sun god sitting on an empty throne. Okay, so that's the link to Imu. I'll definitely make note of it and have a read.
Yeah, I haven't heard that one.
Yeah, I haven't heard that one either.
Definitely interesting.
Yeah, it's always a lot of fun seeing all the different like mythological bases, like we just kept saying. But okay, so if on that note, make sure everyone to check out LaffiTraffi's channel, show us some love, and thank you so much for joining us on the collab. I had a lot of fun, and it was a lot of fun, you know, getting to discuss One Piece, getting to know more about you, and also and see everyone else in Discord, and I guess we'll talk again soon. But thanks so much for joining us today.
Yeah, thank you a lot. It was super fun. I was nervous going into it, but it was super fun seeing all the you know, the opinions in chat and everything, and seeing all the different opinions. Just like you were saying earlier, the same story, but there's such a spread of different perspectives of different characters and things that happen. But yeah, it was really fun. It was really fun to talk about it, especially Law. You know,
Yeah.
I know we didn't talk about him too much at the end, but we got to talk about him plenty in the beginning, and so I'm satisfied. And you know, Beppo represent.
Beppo represent. I guess you could take him instead of the sword then to Otacon. And Randy says
he definitely has.
yeah, you'll take Beppo. Randy says 5 minutes after Who's Who joins Law, he'll say something racist to Beppo.
Yeah, I wasn't gonna get into it, but I would not like Who's Who to join Law, just because he is such a, like, as a person, he is clearly a very bad person who has very unpopular opinions about race and discrimination and history, so he can stay far away.
I'm hoping that Jinbei will slap that all out of him.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, there we go. He disrespected those heart pirates, or sun pirates, not heart pirates. Sun pirates. Can't do it. Nope.
Yeah, exactly. All right. I thought you guys slept longer. That's Randy's giving us examples. No, he's gonna get it. Okay, so obviously none of that. We don't want none of that for the future of One Piece. I loved all the memes that came out about that as well. About Kaido issuing an official apology afterwards. So okay. All right. Well, thanks for joining us, Laffy, and everyone. Make sure to go check out Laffy's channel if you haven't. And I guess I'll see you again soon.
Yeah. Thanks for all the new subscribers. I saw a few of you in the chat, so appreciate it. Means a lot.
Awesome. All right.
Yeah,
all right.
Have a good day, morning for you.
Yeah. Thanks, and have a good evening. Thanks for joining us at a late time.
Yeah, no, you're good. Oh, and the kitten says goodbye one last time.
Okay, bye. Is it
last,
bye, Rose? Bye, Rose or Chloe. And thanks everyone in the chat. Thanks for joining in. Thanks for all the super chats. Thanks for the mods. And Liam and Randy, glad to see you here as well. Thanks so much for joining.